Well, hey y'all, happy new year. I know it's a couple days past the beginning of the year, but I've been kind of going through old videos and kind of looking back, a little bit of what has gone on this year and thought I would share with you my top 12 projects of 2024. So I have learned so much. This 2024 has been my first full year on YouTube, producing content on YouTube. And so my life has changed considerably halfway through the year. So I've had to learn to kind of adapt somewhat, and I think I'm getting there. I definitely have a better plan for next year and a little better idea of how to manage the time that I do have. So looking forward to that for 2025. But let's go ahead and let's start recapping my top 12 projects of 2024. So we kicked off 2024 with a furniture flipping challenge from the furniture flipping teacher and in conjunction with Up Paint. It was a wonderful challenge. It was very hard to do over the holidays, I will say that much, but it taught me a lot and it was so much fun. It was a piece of furniture that I have been trying to do for quite some time. So I found this hutch on Facebook Marketplace for $50, and I knew exactly that it was going to be perfect for this challenge. I took the top off, used the bottom portions, did my thing and zhuzhed it up, and now it's a wonderful cabinet that fits perfect in my living room to hold my grandbaby's toys. Next up, we did the mantle, and this is probably my favorite project because I felt so accomplished. It really stretched me to build something new because I haven't done that ever. So, and I did it without my husband's help, who is a carpenter. So that was, I don't know, a little pat on the back for me. So that's why this is my favorite project this year. I then restyled it and constructed the built-ins on each side and styled both of those, which I never really loved it before. Anything I had put up there just never worked right, and now it does. Now I have places to display all of the mementos that I've picked up, as we've traveled, or different things that mean things to me. I have pieces that, were my mother-in-law's or my grandmother's, and some pictures that my son took. And it's just beautiful now. Then next up was another furniture flipping challenge, this time by Ivy Lane Interiors. It was a romance challenge. So I took this lingerie chest that was in my stash for quite some time, and I decided to give it a nice transformation. And I painted a nice soft pink, added some pearlescent glaze, and then added a whole bunch of hand-painted roses on the bottom. And then a little gold touch here and there as well. And it now sits in a beautiful boutique called the Pink Pineapple here in Tallahassee. So if you ever want to stop by and see it, you make sure you look her up and see if you can find it in her store. Next up was this cedar chest that I've had, again, for a good minute. It has a beautiful mid-century style. The drawer on the bottom didn't work anymore and was just, and the legs and everything were just kind of rotted. So I reconstructed the legs, painted her up, and now she lives in a beautiful home and it stores blankets and whatnot for an Airbnb. So let's hear it for my top viewed video of this year. And that was the top of that hutch that I purchased for the furniture challenge and made the bottom into a credenza. I then took the top, took off all the fancy-ish hardware or decorative pieces on top and made it a little more streamlined, a little more modern. I added a base to the bottom, and now it's a beautiful display cabinet. I also took the backing and added some wallpaper and stenciled that wallpaper with a great heron that is very native to Florida. I thought this would be perfect in a beach house. But lo and behold, the person that bought it actually had a lake house. and it fits perfectly there as well. The lovely soft moss green color fit in with her color palette, and she holds all of her little figurine mementos inside of it in her lake house up in Georgia. Then I found this piece in the trash. Actually, my husband found it in the trash, and it is a magazine rack with a lamp, and it's very, very dated, and I think I turned it around quite nicely to put out on my patio. I am in love with this Kelly green color. It's just everything. Then it came into summer, and my middle son was coming home, and I thought it's perfect time to give his teenage dresser a nice glow up, if you will. So I did some paint pour on that, and then took the nightstands that were in there and redid them as well, added some pillows and some artwork and a blanket, and just made this room perfect for when he and his new wife came to visit us this summer. Next up was a project that I've been trying to work on for quite some time. I just didn't know what to do with it. This is my mother-in-law's table, and this table was her mother-in-law's, so it had great sentiment to me. So I wanted to update this to make it fit in my home, but the table is just too big for our dining room, and I didn't really have any place else to put it, and I don't have any place to store it. So I thought, what if I divided it in half? So that's what I did. I turned it into a great little table that fits in my breakfast nook in my house. And so now part of it has nice bright colors, of course, because that's my thing. And we had a nice teal, and then a white that just works perfectly there in my breakfast nook. Next up was the third furniture challenge that I did and it was again from Ivy Lane Interiors, and this one was Old World Opulence. So I took a buffet that, again, I've had in my stash for a while. You'll see a theme here that I've had several projects I just had never been able to get to before. And so this thing needed, when you talk about a challenge, this was a challenge. So we only had 2 weeks to complete it, and it took all of that 2 weeks for me to complete this. This piece has more Bondo and wood filler than probably any other piece that I've ever done before. Every piece of veneer had fallen off of it, and so what was underneath was pitted and the grain, super thick grain, so we had to fill all that in. And we had to reconstruct the legs, and oh goodness, I called it Frankenstein's daughter is what I called it, because I don't know how I turned it into something in the end. But I added that piece to my office, so I decided to give my office a little makeover as well. So I took a mural that I had in my store bathroom. Actually, it came in 4 pieces, and it was meant for a really huge wall, but I only had a small wall in that bathroom. So I took the other half that was left over, and I put it on some plywood and framed it out, and then did 3 framed pieces in my office. And now it's nice and pretty to look at when I go in there to work. So this was about the time, right after that last furniture challenge, was about the time that I realized I'm not going to have enough time in my life right now to continue to refinish furniture. And so I took a little pause because I didn't really know what I was going to be able to do. And so I did find one small piece of furniture that needed to be refinished, and I gave this a used melange paint, which I am absolutely in love with. That was a new paint to me, and so I used the melange paint on this cute little dresser and added some stenciling details, and it is absolutely darling. And then between my health and watching grandbabies, I just needed another little break, and I was able to kind of get things together just before Christmas. And just at the beginning of November, my energy levels started coming back, and I'll explain all of that in another video. This isn't a this isn't a health channel, so I can't really give you any solid facts or anything just yet. So my energy level started picking back up, and I decided to do 12 days of Christmas ornaments because there were several ornaments in my stash that I knew needed to be refurbished. And I thought those would be projects that I possibly could get done in time. I was wrong. So I'm learning. I know in my brain that it takes 3 times longer when you're trying to film a project to complete it, but I still thought I could get them done in time, and I finished all but 2. I actually have one that I just have to put the video together, and then I still have to film the last one. But what I figured I would do is that would be a fun surprise to start out next Christmas season. Or maybe I'll do a Christmas in July. You never know. I do have several projects that I would like to complete. So that possibly might be what I do, is do a little Christmas in July this year. But here are the ornaments that I did do for this year. We had a velvet look. We had, I did a nutcracker tree for my grandbabies this year in pinks and blues. And we did lots of nutcrackers with molds. We did wooden nutcrackers. We did, the paper with the beautiful tinsel around to give a nice little vintage look. We used the printables from Life on Summer Hill. My friend Linda, which there's a fun video coming up with our little collaboration coming. So be on the lookout for that. Hit that notification bell and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss it, because it is going to be fun. But I did some faux cake and some ice cream cones. What else did we do? We did lots of decoupage. We did some paint pour, which that's the one that hasn't come out yet. And we did some artwork. I took some frames and did some prints in those. And we added some molds to some ornaments to give it a little bit of texture and lots of fun. I took lots of glitter and made some vintage inspired ornament. I took a rhinestone butterfly that I'd had in my stash forever and ever, and I popped that inside of a frame, and that looked absolutely beautiful on my tree this year. And I also hand painted a few ornaments as well, and that was super fun. So relaxing. And like I said, I might have to just do a Christmas in July because I have a few more projects that I really wanted to do. I just ran out of time and energy. Well, that's the recap of 2024 with my top 12 projects and a little added bonus in how we finished off the year. So now it's time for me to get this tree down. Oh goodness. Putting it up is fun, right? Taking it down kind of stinks. Now I have Rebecca Robeson is really a great one to follow, and I have taken lots of tips from her as far as putting everything away so that it doesn't get broken and it's easily found again next year. So I do kind of have a system, but now that I've added some new things, I don't know, I might have to go get another bin. We'll see. But we're going to take this tree down, and I have, like I said, there's a little collaboration coming with Life on Summer Hill. And our next video will be some great tips for thrifting some products for your home if you are a beginner. Well, I look forward to lots of fun videos in 2025. I hope that you have a wonderful new year. And I hope that you can also hit that subscribe button so that this channel grows and I can bring you more awesome projects. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.